Welcome to Elements. In this video, I'm going to give you a whistle-stop tour of the Elements UI so you can get up and running building your websites faster. Now, I've got a blank document here, and on the right-hand side, this is where we manage our pages. I've got some other tabs along the top here, and this is where we store our resources. You can drag things in from the Finder into here, such as files and images. Then we have our components, and these are the building blocks of your website. Next up, we have templates, and this is where pre-built collections of components are stored for use later. We go over those in a separate video. And the last tab here is the node browser. In here, we have our main editor. This is where we'll drag our components in to build our website. And over here, we have the inspector. So let's go over to the page manager again, and we're on the home page, and I'm going to go to components. And we're going to start dragging in some components. So let's start with the container. And now you can see when I drop in the container, it's automatically highlighted, and I've got some options down the side here. And this is the same for every component you drop in. You'll have a different set of options. They'll be very similar, but different set depending on the component you drop in. So here we could add some more spacing. So I'm going to add a little bit more padding to the top and bottom of this item. And you can see the changes happen instantly. So if I go down here, I could change the background, and you can see that changes straight away. The changes are reflected live in the editor. So that's all really good stuff. Let's go ahead and drop some text in here. And I just drag and drop it in. And then if I want to edit this text, I double click into it. And let's select all of that. And we can just type, and it appears straight away, and we can change the values for this. We can make it larger, we'll increase the weight, and we'll center it. So now when I go over to my node browser, you can see it shows me all the components I have in my site. Now we also have, as well as the settings here, we also have the page settings. You can change folder, file name, title, description, things like that. And then we have the meta inspector, and this allows you to add keywords, metadata, open graph tags. And then finally we have the inspector on here, and this is for the media. So when I select some or a resource, you can see it highlights in there and gives me the details. Now this works for PDFs, zip files, any type of files you have in here. Now you might be thinking this isn't very convenient to have it over this side, and that's fine because the Elements UI is completely configurable. So what I can do, I can drag this out into a window, or I can rearrange it somewhere else in the UI. So I can place this over here. I can even place it down the bottom so we split the panel. And if I want another panel, I can just drag these icons out, and we can configure these however we like. It's really flexible, and the same with dragging things out. You can have multiple items and multiple windows. So really, this is a powerful way to work, and you can configure things how you like. So, you know, you might have your resources here and the resources inspector below it. So really powerful stuff. And you can save your workspaces, your favorite workspaces. You can save them with the workspace manager. Save, update, and remove them and manage them here. So let's just reset that. I'll pop these back over here. Now with the editor, you can also choose the breakpoint you want to see. At the moment, I'm on the widest breakpoint, and when I click these, the editor resizes to show me the different sizes of device. And I can also stretch here. I can also do this. And you'll notice these change as I go up and down them. We can set dark and light mode. At the moment when I'm editing this site, it is in light mode. So if I change the font here and then I go to dark mode, I can then set a different font color for dark mode. And the same with the background. Let's set the background to dark here. So in dark mode, my site looks like this, and then I go into light mode, and you can see the colors flip because I've selected a different color when I'm in light mode. So really powerful stuff. We also have the theme studio. That's the button here, and this will show the theme settings. Now you can change the theme at any time, and this will change the look of your website from the fonts it uses to the spacing and the border width and radius. But you can also override these settings by going into the specific theme settings. You can create your own custom items or override what is in the theme, along with all the colors as well. So that's really powerful. In here, it's also worth noting you can change the responsive breakpoints if you have specific sizes in mind that you want to target, or perhaps you don't want to target all of the breakpoints. You can turn some of them off, and you'll see the icons change there to reflect that. Now, it's also worth noting you can change the look of things at the different breakpoints. So for example, now I'm on mobile. Let's just change the size of this text. We want smaller text on mobile. And then when I come up through the breakpoints, we want to increase the size of this font. So what I can do, these dots here represent, show you that you can set a mobile breakpoint, that you can override the values there. So when we get to this next size, I want to change the font size. And we want to put that on 2XL. So and next, when I come up to the next size, we want to hit the blue dot to override the value, and we'll make that a bit larger. And again, we'll go to the next size, and I want that on 7. So now when I move between these sizes, you can see the font size is changing. And the little blue dot represents that this is an overrode value. And you can see when I hover over this, at the top of the screen, on these, a blue dot appears to show that there's some values that are overridden on those. So this is really powerful, and this works for a lot of things like, say, sizing, spacing, layout, grids, everything. So you can really customize how your site looks at the different breakpoints. Really powerful stuff. Now, if we want to preview this in the browser, we can just click the preview in browser button, and it opens your default browser. You can also preview this in other browsers. You hit Command Option P, and it brings you up a list of installed browsers. You can set your default browser in the preferences as well. We also have Elements Cloud, which allows you to upload and share projects, and Elements Cloud storage comes with every subscription. Now, to configure the global options for your site, there is the project settings. And in here, you can give it a title, your web address, the general logo for your site. You can also set web icons. There's some advanced settings in here. And the template for the site. This is really useful if you want to configure the code in your site. If you've got any Google Analytics code that you want to place in here, you can place it directly into here. There's some notes for your site, and also publishing setup. So you can add multiple locations. So you can have a local publishing folder, FTP, SFTP. That's all creatable in here. And once that is set up, you simply hit publish. So that's a very, very quick run through of the Element UI. There's a lot more to Elements than I've shown in this video. So please do refer to the other information in the manual and online. And if you get stuck, please visit the Elements forum and ask questions there, and we're always around to help out. All right, thanks for watching this, and I will see you in the next one.